Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
Coming at you live from New England. Don't I look nice, professional? Sorry. Okay. Preemptive like 6 lies America told me about Europe, life in the UK. This is kind of the videos I've been doing past few days, but that's all right. I'm interested. I'll move on soon. The link to the original video from International Carl, top of the description, okay? Below that, link to the Discord. Love to have you. I'm going to give him a preemptive sub. I like these style of videos. So, let's get started, shall we? My name's Connor, if you're new. The original... I said that, didn't I? Discord. Let's go.
For you, if this is your first... Hey, everybody. Welcome back. International Carl doing
Carl.
another video for you. If this is your first time to my channel, please, right now, stop and hit the like button. Consider subscribing. And as always, hit me in the comment section because those that have subscribed to my channel know that I'm always active in the comment section. Now, this video, we're going to talk about a couple lies that the United States...
Sorry, I re-subscribed and re-liked.
Section. Now, this video, we're going to talk about a couple lies that the United States pushes into us as Americans growing up. And let's talk about it right now. Let's get to it right now. Lie number 1. This one is a funny one to me because in the United States, it's always, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're Republican,
Politics.
I don't care if you're independent, I don't care where you're at on the political spectrum. You're always going to have a politician telling you that
they hate our freedoms, our freedom of religion, our freedom of speech, our freedom to vote and assemble and disagree with each other.
that's right. They hate us for our freedoms.
Sorry, I saw a funny... Was it in a comment or like a... I forget if it was in a comment on a... But it's like, it said... It gave me a chuckle. What was it? Oh, yeah. America. I'm going to butcher it. Frick. It's like... someone fighting against someone we don't like with our funding. Freedom fighters. Someone we're fighting, terrorists. I butchered that, but it gave me a chuckle.
Can you believe that?
With each other.
That's right. They hate us for our freedoms. Can you believe that? As if nowhere else in the world has any freedoms. Like Europe.
Nope.
You know, in Europe, they act like if you come to Europe, there's just no freedoms. What freedoms do I not have here in Europe? You know, as these are Western democracies with Western values and culture that has been exported to the United States. And it's become its own thing. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but freedoms exist here. I'm still scratching my head.
But you can't own a gun. Is that all I got? I got nothing.
What freedom do you have in America that I don't have here? Let's talk about freedom of speech, for example. In America, you have freedom of speech. In the UK, for example, you don't have freedom of speech. What you do have is freedom of expression. Slight different tweak, but let's give you an example. In America, you can be as racist as you want to somebody. You can walk up to me, walk up to any black person and say the N-word all day long if you want. Where in the UK, you really couldn't do that because at some point you will cross a fine line of inciting racial hatred. So if you define your freedoms based on your ability to call somebody an N-word or call some Asian American some type of offensive word, by all means, you can have that freedom. I don't need that freedom. But other people in America talk about it like freedom for guns. Ooh, guns, guns, guns. They want to take your guns. Well, let's see. Here in the UK, can you have guns? Yes.
I've seen a video on the... I paused... What? I should pause when he's done with this. So before I get it, I watched the UK gun laws. Super reasonable. Honestly, like super reasonable. I was under the impression, unless you're not even a cop, unless you're like a special cop that like they bring in for certain situations, you don't carry a gun, and I'm thinking like only those people. But I watched a video, and it was very reasonable. Like you can still get guns. It's just there's a little more, in my opinion, justified little things you have to go through to get it. So yeah, that blew my mind.
Can you have a rifle? Yes. Can you have a handgun? Yes. What does the Second Amendment say in the United States? It's highly regulated. So what is it here in the UK? Guess what? It's highly regulated. There's lots of regulations around what type of gun, where you have to store that gun, where you have to keep the ammunition, what do you have to do for the maintenance of that gun? Highly regulated.
I thought that was for militias.
So it's highly regulated. The Second Amendment say in the United States, it's highly regulated. So what is it here in the UK? Guess what? It's highly regulated.
Well, I think he's talking about a well-regulated militia. He can know more than I do, and maybe there's also regulated. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of the state. Oh, I guess he's right. A well-regulated militia being necessary of a free state. The right of the people to bear arms shall not be infringed. Okay. He's okay. I'm sorry. It says, why not just say the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed without predicating it with this? So, okay. Sorry. He's right. Oh, God. Where was I?
There's
my bad. I'm the dumb one.
Is it here in the UK? Guess what? It's highly regulated. There's lots of regulations around what type of gun, where you have to store that gun, where you have to keep the ammunition, what do you have to do for the maintenance of that gun? Highly regulated. So you still have the freedom to have a gun. So if you define your freedoms as being able to have as many guns as you want in America, okay, fine, no argument. But I think that's a lie that they sell, that nobody here has any guns. Not true. Number 2, social housing is a bad thing. It's something that you're supposed to segregate from the rest of the population. So, for example, in America, especially in LA where I'm from, or Southern California where I'm from, social housing, Section 8. Well, that's usually in a separate side of the city, not being seen. I don't even know where it's at, because where I grew up was nothing but beautiful homes, single family homes, no social housing. Where here in the UK, just in Europe in general, it's all sprinkled around you. For example, here in the UK, I live in a beautiful big house, beautiful executive style estate. I have a nice car, but guess what? On this estate and on several new estates, they all have social housing, and they do things that are different in the United States, or that they do here in the UK, that they wouldn't do or they don't do in the United States. You can be on social housing, but guess what? You can partially own that house. So that way you can be on the track. So you can buy 10% of the home, 20% of the home, 50% of the home, and try to get all the way up to 100% of the home like me or you do. So that's a different strategy that they do, so that social housing is good for everybody, because that way the kids get to interact with all people from all social and religious economic backgrounds.
I find this a lot, and I say it a lot. It seems like countries in Europe, they in the most simple terms, one sentence, they care more about their fellow citizens. In a longer kind of paragraph of like, America is a very much like you're on your own. It's a competitive society. It's like the point to succeed is very strong in that you want to beat out the next person. It's extremely competitive. I see this when looking at Sweden, German, Swedish, German, Dutch, British social policies. You guys just clearly have like a different view on society than the American. It's me versus you. And I think that affects employer power, power imbalance, right? And it seems like people in the UK and in Europe have less of that me versus you and more of that, like, let's work and vote for politicians and policies that help everyone. And in the US, I don't know if there's more of a vitriolic nature in the US or the competitiveness or whatnot, but yeah, that it's such a it's more of a dog eat dog thing over here, or over there it's more of like a pack mentality, and I think that's better in some ways.
And you as an adult get to work and meet and mingle with people from all different backgrounds. I think the neighborhoods are better for it, they're safer for it, less crime, because guess what, if you're in an executive style estate, well, guess what, you want to keep your home value high, you want to keep it
seltzer.
nice and looking new, mingle with people from, and you as an adult get all social. That way the kids get to interact with all people from all social and religious economic backgrounds. And you as an adult get to work and meet and mingle with people from all different backgrounds. I think the neighborhoods are better for it, they're safer for it, less crime, because guess what, if you're in an executive style estate, well, guess what, you want to keep your home value high, you want to keep it nice and looking new, and that's going to put pressure on the social housing to also keep their house nice, keep the estate looking nice and new and fresh.
Steph Curry, there was I watched like a Hassan video or something. I forget, was it Wendover, where like they wanted to build, like the state bought out a property within a wealthy estate, like people like Steph Curry, multimillionaires, famous, people, very rich people in the community, where the government bought out a lot in that community, one lot, to make like house, like a 100 family housing unit in it. And it's like, this is California. This is like Steph Curry. Like, these are super progressive people that are definitely like all for this stuff. But as soon as it threatens their property value, which, depressing or not, it's true. Like, it's going to lower your property value. And they're just like, yeah, help the poor. Oh, wait, in my neighborhood? No, get it out of here. And that's the attitude.
So I think that's a myth.
Burp, sorry.
That's something that should be revisited in the United States. Number 3, in America, they teach you this, that somehow being a hard worker means coming in early, staying late, never taking a vacation, and definitely don't call in sick. That is like the biggest mistake you could ever make, faux pas you can make. I'll give you an example. When I was working for a large airframe manufacturer in the United States, I remember a friend of mine, we wanted to take 2 weeks off and go do something. Our managers looked at us like we were crazy because we wanted to have the audacity to take 2 weeks off. And mind you, we didn't take any days off prior to that. We just wanted to take 2 weeks off in a year so we could go do something. They were like, no.
All right, so you're allowed, like 2 weeks. All right, so thank you, sir, for applying. So yeah, we have like you're allowed 2 weeks vacation a year. All right, okay. Months later, oh, all right. So we'd like to take that 2 week vacation. What? You're fired.
Rejected slim that down to a week. And I'm thinking, isn't that my time off to
If I'm saying anything stupid, please let me know.
reject it, slim that down to a week? And I'm thinking, isn't that my time off to relax, to recharge my battery so I can come back to work? No. Now, I think minds and hearts have changed a little bit in the United States back from when I started working, back in the early 2000s, or mid 2000s, I should say. But that was a faux pas. Well, here in the United Kingdom and here in Europe, for example, it's encouraged to take time off. You get 20, 25 plus days off in mostly all European countries. I think by law in the European Union, you have to have 20 days off. So it's encouraged to take time.
That's so selfish of the employees taking time off. What about the employer's profit? What about the dent you're making in his bottom line? All right, his $1 million salary, and you working $15 an hour have the audacity to take a vacation and slightly lower his profits? Go to hell.
Time off, because either you use it or you lose it. And for example, I think Sweden, if I can find the article, it's on the screen now. But if not, Sweden is actually doing a trial where they're reducing the work hours to 6 hours to see if it increases productivity. Because employers are seeing that the employees are more rested and more focused when they come back to work. Number 4, America sells you this, that capitalism and consumerism go hand in glove. It's like this cycle. You have to work to buy, to work again to pay for what you buy, to buy some more stuff, to then work again and go down this continuous loop of working to live. And in Europe, one of the things that I find, I think is a beauty and a benefit of working and living in Europe is that there's more of a work-life balance. As I just talked about in point number 3, is that you have time off to actually do stuff. And you don't just have this endless working to consume. Don't get me wrong. We go on vacation, so we're consuming what I would call, we are consuming experiences, but we don't live to work, we work to live. And that is a benefit of living in Europe, and I think that is great. And I think the U.S. sells a lie to its people by telling them that you have to work hard to then buy stuff and never do anything.
I think it's I said this in another one, but two things. One, I had a more important point that's more important that the first, oh my god.
I think the U.S. sells a lie is we don't live to work. Don't just have this endless working to consume. Don't get me wrong. We go on vacation, so we're consuming what I would call, we are consuming experiences, but we don't live to work, we work to live.
I think that's such a healthier way for the person, and why is it that the European economy is not that far behind the American economy if they have such this laissez-faire, no, not laissez-faire, the term doesn't make any sense, voice crack. Oh my god, I forget the both things I was gonna say.
And that is a benefit of living in Europe, and I think that is great. And I think the U.S. sells a lie to its people by telling them that you have to work hard.
Oh yeah.
To then buy stuff.
It's like, why? If the Americans work so much harder or so much more competitive, I know the U.S. economy is larger than the EU economy, and the EU economy is made up of. Is it made up of more people? I know Europe has more people, but does the EU? But that's I love seltzer. when I'm gassy. By
telling them that
it's my first video of the day. I want to make.
I think the U.S. sells a lie to its people.
Right. So why doesn't the USA, why is the Europe still doing well if they have such a more laid back approach compared to Americans? It's not. And so it seems like just a healthier way to live. And I am of the opinion, maybe just because I'm not a morning person usually. I like to wake up later, but some people are better workers. Why not allow people to come make their hours instead of 9 to 5, if they want to 11 to 7 or noon to 8 or 2 to 10. Why don't you allow people, as long as they're there and productive for the 8-hour workday? Why not allow them to come when they believe they're the most effective?
By telling them that you have to work hard to then buy stuff and never do anything. Number 5, which kind of ties into the first one I said, but it really is on the Republican right side in America. They always preach, especially during the Obamacare era, 2012. It was all about these death panels. They literally produced a video where they were throwing these death panels.
Death panel?
Especially during the Obamacare era, 2012, was all about these death panels. They literally produced a video where they were throwing grandma off a cliff because of social medicine.
That's not real. Please tell me not.
Make no mistake about it. President Obama and the Democrats who supported Obamacare began throwing seniors off the cliff back.
That's not real. Please tell me that's not real. That's not real. It's not real.
Make social medicine.
That's not real. That can't be real. That's not real. That's not real. That's not real. Tell me that's not real. Okay, I don't think it is. Thank God. Okay, thank God. I don't know if it is.
Make no mistake about it. President Obama and the Democrats who supported
Oh my God, it is, isn't it?
Obamacare began throwing seniors off the cliff back.
True.
The evils of social medicine, that you were going to have death panels if you got sick. I mean, how ridiculous of a lie that is. I mean, it's a bold-faced lie. I've lived here 11, 12 years. I have yet to ever see a death panel. I have known some older people. I know some younger people. I know myself. You can walk into any hospital in any country in Europe and there's not a single death panel. What do you expect them to say? Oh, sorry, you had a heart attack last year, Mr. Carl, but since you had one last year, we're not going to treat you for this heart attack because the panel has refused your care. On a side note, you kind of already have.
Wait a second. So there's a death panel that says, all right, you had one already, you're having another. That means you're probably just not worth even trying. You're going to die. Is that what a death panel is? Please tell me.
Have that in America. You just have it through the insurance companies because guess what they do? Decide not to cover you. They say it's a
carbonation.
Decide not to cover you. They say it's a pre-existing condition. I don't think you can do that anymore, but
True.
They'll say that, or they'll find a way to deny coverage. They'll make it so high to cost to do it that you have to do it out of pocket. And guess what? Now you're bankrupt. So that loops right back to number one. How are you free if you have to live with the pressure of going bankrupt and not being able to pay your bills? Because guess what? You have the audacity to break your hip, get sick. I don't know. You pick it. So those are the 5 things that I think that the United States lies or misleads its people on purpose to further whatever big business or whatever political agenda that they have to the people. I'm going to leave you with a bonus one, which is kind of strange if you look at it. Because number 6 is this. In America, every day, all students around the nation get up every morning and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I even remember it now, I think, and it's been... Oh my God. Jesus, I'm old. I was born in 1993, September 3rd. My birthday. In a week. But let's see if I remember it, guys. I haven't done this since probably senior year in high school. That was, what year was that? When was I a senior? 8th grade. I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So almost 13 years. Almost 13 years since I've done this. Let's see if I can remember it. All right, class, homerooms, can you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, so you're in homeroom. You go to your homeroom, separated by alphabetically. Right, so like I'm with all the M's and the N's and the O's, whatever. So start it first thing off the telecom and homeroom. First thing you go to when you get to school, they'll go over the loudspeaker. All right, everyone, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right, it's been like 12 years, guys. Okay, let's see if I remember. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nailed it. That was absolutely it. Am I that indoctrinated that it's just in my mind? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States. Oh my God, I didn't cover. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic from which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is that indoctrination?
Pledge your up every morning and say the Pledge of Allegiance. You pledge yourself and align yourself to the United States flag and to the republic for which it stands.
I never thought about how weird it was. Like, I was a kid, I was just like, okay. But it kind of sounds like some authoritarian.
Now, that's not something that's common in Europe. In many Western countries, I don't know of any other Western country that makes its kids get up every morning. I do know of one back in 1938, 1942
North Korea.
Time. Those kids used to get up
Okay.
and actually pledge allegiance to their flag,
Germany,
and to their Führer. But I don't know if that's something we should.
But you guys, anyone who's from any country besides America, just can't, like, do any of you do that? Don't lie. Just don't lie to make me feel better or to what. Just does anyone do that? Like in the beginning in your homeroom of the school, it's like, okay, pledge allegiance to the United States of Germany and Deutschland and the Deutsche Volk. Being on short and slight,
necessarily be doing. Don't get me wrong, I love my country. I'm very patriotic about it. I love the 4th of July for all its. My country is never perfect, but I think it can get better. But that's mine. Hit me in the comments, tell me what you think, and like always, click here to subscribe to the channel, and click right here, right there, to watch another one of my videos. With that, I'm out. Thank you.
Love him. Love you, Carl. I did an unsubscribe on like, and just to help the algorithm. Amazing amazing video. Carl loved it. All right, so you know, likes, subscriptions, comments, guys, they add to the algorithm, make it, you know, go more. He's got almost 5,000 already anyway. Loved it. Loved this guy. I think he gave a great video, great reasons, great presentation there. And yeah, I'm curious what you guys have to say, what you think. If you think anything was wrong, and the Pledge of Allegiance stuff. Do you have anything similar? Please, I'm holding on to straws here. Love y'all. Hope you're all doing well. Again, very excited to see any of your comments. Disagree, agree, say whatever you want, as long as it's not, you know, bad. Love y'all. See you next time. Bye, guys.